Good morning. It's an early one to meet you on Shane. Introducing you, my friend, all the way from Miami. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing fantastic. I appreciate the invite.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this one for quite some time. It's been a while that we've known each other, but we've not yet actually spoken face to face, have we?
No, it's unusual. Social media is special when it comes to stuff like that because you don't really, how else are you going to meet someone that lives across the planet? You know what I mean?
Dragging you out of bed at this time of the morning to do a podcast. How are you feeling about that?
Um, I'm cool. This is like the first time. So, I mean, we have a relationship prior to this, so it's a lot easier
Yeah,
as
for
opposed
sure.
to talking to a stranger. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we kind of met through, obviously, online through our like the Jewish community. And
Yes.
if you don't mind me asking, how's it been for you in Miami pre and post October 7th?
So I don't think that it was too much of an issue. I mean, back before October the 7th. Um, After October the 7th, I think as Jewish people, we were way more aware
Yeah,
of of the potential for things to happen. Um, I've got a ton of Jewish tattoos on me, so you never really know how someone's going to interpret, when they come across you. You know what I mean?
yeah, for sure.
Um, but people have become very comfortable, with showing hatred in public and whatnot. So I mean, it's always at the top of my head that God forbid that there's always a risk of encountering something like that.
Yeah.
I don't carry any protection, no firearm or anything like that. So, um, I mean, I'm just trying to stay in the lane of least resistance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of get that kind of same feeling myself. I mean, I live close to the Jewish community, but I'm not actively involved. I'm more assimilated, and it's just been an online presence that's really the only time I've been targeted. Nobody where I live in Essex is really kind of that fussed about who comes and who goes. But have you
Right.
experienced any difficulties online yourself?
I mean, if you are vocal or active and you engage in social media, you're always going to be a potential target. But you can tell people low key, they don't necessarily have to be straight out anti-Semitic, but you can just see their post that it's mind blowing that they would even favor or even consider a pro Hamas or pro Palestinian position. Um, and forget about just the slaughtering of Jews that the years and years of that particular community inflicting their savagery on other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yet it's so easy for them to hate um, you know Jewish people, have silence regarding October the 7th. I mean, it's just mind boggling to me. It's really insane.
I kind of refer back to because we're probably about the same age, and I always refer back to 9/11. At no point in 9/11 were there American citizens walking down the street waving Al Qaeda flags in full support of Osama bin Laden.
It's it's just insane to me,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah,
And it really boils down to the hatred of Jews. There's no other there's no other sane um, you know there's no other reason.
yes.
You know what I mean? It's just people have become very, very comfortable. Um, it's like I said, I just think it's insane.
You've been DJing for quite a number of years in Florida, in Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Has it spilled into your livelihood, into your income, into your everyday life?
I mean, DJing for me has always been a passion project. I've
Yep.
never really done it for the money. Obviously, it's whatever I get, it's always a bonus. But you know, there's so many. Believe it or not, I don't know how much you know about electronic music, but the particular style that I play, The amount of Israeli producers that
Massive
make the
amount, yeah.
music, yeah, that I play is just unbelievable. The amount of talent that comes out of Israel is just incredible. Um, but I think for the most part, the house music scene is a very welcoming community.
Yeah, for sure. Still
Um,
is in the UK as
you know,
well.
yeah, you very rarely see any type of hatred or violence. Even club shows. It's just positive vibes all around. To be honest.
It's kind of what the vibe here. I mean, I only go out and party once every, well, probably twice a year. My friends in Manchester are DJs, and again, that's their actual vision is love and inclusionism, which I'm fully behind on in that respect. It makes it a lot easier to go out. Admittedly, me and the Jewish boy Matt Levy, we always find each other when we're there and just go, "You okay, pal? Yeah, I'm good. You know where I am. You need," and just have a little
I
bit
mean,
of banter about it.
but you are a hip hop head for the most part, right?
Hip hop, and again, but if I go out to party, it's got to be house music.
Oh, okay. Because before I even got into house music, I was huge into hip hop. Um, Growing up in Canada, I mean, I was EPMD, Boogie Down
Oh,
Productions, Slick Rick.
Slick Rick's one of my
Um,
favorites. Behind Bars is one of the best albums ever produced.
I don't remember. I think The Ruler is what I have.
Yeah, The Ruler. Yeah.
Um, you know,
So your early
um,
influences were breakbeats and that, yeah?
no, really, living in Canada was going to clubs. I think started at around 16, and it was more of like an open format.
Yeah.
For the most part, I didn't really find house music until probably maybe a couple years later when they started booking Frankie Knuckles
So like
and
80, 89, 88, 89, something like that.
yeah, more of like a social house, soulful house. Um, but then I listened to so many different styles, and only recently, probably 2017, is when I started playing progressive house. I found that my ears were starting to mature. I was seeking more music that had more elements, synths, and it's just because I was playing tech house for many years,
Yeah.
and it's just a lot of drums, um, and I was just seeking more. And then progressive house was always something that I would listen to, but never really focused on.
Was what we consider I grew up in Manchester, and the Hacienda was in Manchester, the Thunderdome was in Manchester, and they were at the epicenter of what I still believe was a musical and cultural revolution in the UK with the acid house scene. Was it a similar effect in the States?
So, as a matter of fact, Canada, as I'm sure that you
Sorry,
know,
my apologies, Canada.
no, that's okay. Because that's pretty much where I was introduced to all the music that I love. Um, I think Canada and the UK pretty much mimic each other when it comes to music because acid house was huge
Oh,
in Canada too. Um, Fast Eddie, I don't know if you remember Fast
yeah,
Eddie.
yeah.
So Fast Eddie was really what I was the first DJ producer that I found to be. It was like more like a hip hop house, had some acid elements. Um, but yeah, there was. I mean, acid house really was strong in Canada too.
There was an overlap, wasn't there? Even in the acid house scene with hip hop. I mean, tracks like Sugar Bear, Don't Scandalize Mine, and Silver Bullet, 20 Seconds to Comply. They were still Big Daddy Kane, Warm It Up Kane was also another one because that was used many times as a sample, wasn't it, as well in acid house music. So I think the overlap was still there. Did you spin? Are you still using decks at all? It's a question I've just got to ask.
I never played with vinyl only because uh, the decks were too expensive.
Yeah.
Couldn't afford techniques. I was only 15 years old, 16 years old. They were probably back then maybe 500, $600.
Yeah,
Not
they
really
were,
sure.
weren't they? Yeah.
So I couldn't afford that. Couldn't afford vinyl. But going to all these clubs, I've always imagined of always staring at the DJ booth, being in there in front of all those people. It was always something I wanted to do. Just didn't think that I was able to do it ever.
I asked my DJ pal Jay Weirden, could you still use decks? And it's a resounding no. He's like, not a chance. He just wouldn't be able to do it anymore. He said it's a completely different art.
I think that if you spend many years playing vinyl, I think that you never lose it. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of fine tuning your ears, and I think it's just a matter of practice.
Has it become a tad lazy then, would you say? Or is it more planning now?
You mean just DJing in general?
Yeah, in terms of actually getting your set down. I mean, the set's already pre-done, loaded.
Oh, nothing that I do is preloaded or anything like that. I'll put together like a folder of maybe 50 or 60 tracks, and then depending on the time that I play, will determine the energy and the direction that I go. Um, because I've played support for many different artists, so their sound will dictate pretty much how I open up the room, for example.
Yeah.
So every venue that I've played requires a different vibe. So I try and plan accordingly, just so there's no surprises. I've had many disasters, but I try and do my best to you know do the work ahead of time, so when I get there, I'm pretty well prepared.
We've had kind of a renaissance. As I mentioned, we had a particular club called the Thunderdome, and that was the centre of Manchester for partying. Everybody went there, and the DJ from there, again, Jay Weirden, 4 years ago, actually 4 years ago yesterday, he he he's rebooted the Thunderdome at a club that's very similar vibe, and it's just a lot of 50-odd-year-old mad eheads partying, and it's exactly the same people that were there 37 years ago. And we all look a lot older and we're all a little bit more chilled. But it's been really well received. Places like Mixmag and that sort of place where they've actually said, look at what these guys are doing and the parties that they're putting on for this particular set of people. I mean, obviously, there's people taking their kids there and kind of passing on what they've gone through. Is there anything like that where you are?
I think that not really where I am. I mean, I don't really, if I'm not playing, I don't really spend a lot of time in nightclubs because I don't like to
No,
spend, believe it or not, a lot of
no.
time on a dance floor that's wall to wall people.
Yeah, that gets on
So
my nerves as well. I'm a little bit of a stay at the back and just keep myself to myself sort of guy.
yes, so I think that our age group, we look for other alternatives. Like I was doing some day parties, but it's very difficult because you're expecting people that go out clubbing to actually go clubbing during the day when they're clubbing the night before. It's always a challenge to do something like that. Um, but I like throwing events. I think there is a certain demographic of people that like to enjoy parties outside of the nightclub.
Yeah.
Um, it just takes time to build, and a lot of venues don't want to dedicate the time it takes to, it could take months to build a foundation to a successful party. I just think that a lot of venues, like I said, don't really, they want to see immediate results, and sometimes it just doesn't happen.
Have you stepped out of the DJing booth and into the studio making your own tracks?
So I have a few tracks that I've made, but I'm such a snob when it comes to music. It's nothing that I would even play. I would not. I mean, even when I was playing tech house, even the stuff that I was making, I wouldn't even play it. Wasn't I didn't I quit because I didn't feel it was that good.
Oh, don't play yourself down. It's actually a funny. It's the reason why I laughed then because me and my best friend Jonathan, when we're out together, if the music's not good, we just kind of find each other's eyes and just go. And we both say a bit of a music snob. It's the same thing. So I get that vibe. It's a very difficult thing to overcome. I can't just
Yeah.
if it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit, does it?
No, I mean, I think I play good music, so when I go out, I expect the same quality, and sometimes I don't see it or I don't hear it, and you know,
Have you
but
found it
it's
an enjoyable process though, going into the studio and making your own tracks? Is it rewarding for you just as self-serving?
well, the problem is that I don't feel I have the talent to produce music that I enjoy listening to.
Okay.
It takes, because I'm not a trained musician by any means. I can't play the keyboards, so it's a lot of times you rely on loops, but the music is so intricate with certain elements. You have to really, in my opinion, you really have to be a trained musician to put out quality music. If you aren't, I think it's very, very difficult, and I just don't think that you'll be able to sustain, a career in production without some sort of solid background in music.
Stepping away from music, what are your passions outside of work? I've seen some
So
things online with rescue animals, which is quite dear to me and my friends, in particular my best friend.
I mean, I wear a few different hats. I do graphic design. I did for a period of maybe like 5 or 6 years. I was actually a graphic designer for a nightclub in Miami. I did all of their marketing. That's what got me in the door with them to throw parties. I was doing all of their flyers. Um, I've done flyers for a ton of different venues in Miami and Fort Lauderdale, but I think with AI and people just don't want to pay what you feel that you're worth, so they ended up doing it themselves or whatnot. So yeah, I was doing graphic design for. I mean, I can still do it for many years, but I am an advocate to go back to um, rescuing dogs. We have 3 dogs. You know, to see all these reels online about all of these dogs that have been abandoned or neglected,
Yeah.
it's just heartbreaking. Especially pit bulls, which we have 2, and I mean, they're really the best dogs I've ever owned.
I saw something rather disturbing online that leading up to the World Cup, I think it might be 2030 partly in I think Portugal, Spain, and Morocco, that the Moroccan authorities are actually considering culling, for the want of a better word, but they mean murdering, over 3 million dogs.
So these dogs are, I guess, they're homeless. They
I
run
guess
around the
so.
streets.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't know how anyone can have the heart to do that.
No, me
I
neither.
mean, it is those numbers are insane. The fact
Yeah,
that there's so many, you know, dogs that are running around, but I mean, it's the owners. It's irresponsible owners is the reason why there's so many dogs that are either abandoned or they're not spayed or neutered. They're reproducing. It's just irresponsibility, in my opinion.
how do you get around that sort of thing in your head with animals, seeing as you're advocating for rescue dogs?
I mean, I know a lot of people that foster.
Yeah,
Um, I don't. It may be ridiculous to say I just don't have the heart to take them in and then give them back
yeah,
because I would fall in love with them and then I'd want to keep them. Um, so it's not a good recipe for me because I would have 30 dogs in my house.
for sure,
Um, but you know, dogs need responsible humans to love them.
for
You know,
sure. We'll make sure at the end of the interview as well that you send me the links to the shelters where the dogs are, and we'll include it on the bio for the interview. Thanks very much for
sure.
your time, my friend. I really appreciate it.
Hey, it's my pleasure, and I appreciate you having me on.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend. You take care.
All right, take care, Rafi.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.